Hi everyone, I'm back with another Akashic story time. And what is Akashic story time? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a story about somebody's soul history. And so I would suggest that you step into the time machine with me, and I'm going to introduce you to the story about the galactic refugees, Atlantean escape, and rescued by whales. So all of those things happen in this one story of this specific soul. So once upon a time, there was an old soul with a lot of responsibility, and she carried this like a badge of honor, but it became heavy over time. And I met her when she was seeking insights into her spiritual journey. And each soul that I connect with requires different background music, so I listened to my guidance that I received, and I received that I was supposed to listen to whale sounds while connecting to her energy. Why, I did not know yet. And I felt a lot of angelic support around her and her family, spanning many multidimensional lifetimes, all tied to their shared mission. And her higher self told her that her spiritual gifts that developed over many lifetimes were now merging into one mission. And this lifetime is all about refining these abilities. And there was a pain or a fear inside of her that she just couldn't explain, and that we were going to be looking at. An overprotectedness for her family, her children, and partner. And as is often the case, the answers can be found in the Akashic records. And her energy felt different from most people that I had worked with before. Instead of a recognizable signature, it carried the essence of someone who had been to many places, serving as an ambassador of higher consciousness. And I saw her in lifetimes where she observed and reported and healed, often alone, but always very dedicated to her mission. And in one of these incarnations, she served during the Galactic Orion War, and she was stationed on Sirius A, where she helped Lyran refugees. And she performed both physical and emotional healing, offering comfort to those suffering. And there she met a man and his daughter, and who now in this lifetime are her partner and child. And they forged a bond there that would last throughout lifetimes. And her soul showed me the multidimensional spider web, a metaphor that I like referring to when talking about these connections, of how her family had been and is connected throughout time-space reality in many incarnations. And the bond between the three of them, her partner, and their daughter, was formed in these lifetimes. And they continue to support each other, lifting each other up in this life as well. And this is why she was also strongly feeling her beloved's lingering trauma from the Lyran destruction. And his higher self, however, reassured that this time they are safe, they are protected, and allowed to fully step into their purpose. And then we traveled on to Atlantis, where she worked as a male teacher. And during the Atlantean Golden Age, she was a man back then, he passed on advanced knowledge to eager students, including her own now daughter. However, as Atlantis began to fall, chaos erupted and she was forced to flee with a group of children. And in the midst of this escape, whales rescued her and brought her to safety, allowing her to continue her work in a new place. She ended up, she was a man back then, on an island off the south coast of Spain. And in this lifetime, she lived in the same region and she picked up these codes again. She still feels guilt on a soul level for those children that were lost at sea, but she is meeting many of them again in this now incarnation, and again as their teacher. And she also had a lifetime as a Catholic nun in the 1800s in South America, where she taught compassion and connected to God through the heart. In this life, she wasn't like the others who had come to colonize, and she led from a place of love and kindness, bypassing the rigid rules of the church. And her inner connection to Mother, Father, God was strong, and again she was drawn to children and talked to them about God in her own way. And each of these lives needed to come up to show her different soul aspects that she is all bringing to the surface now. And her higher self reminded her that no matter the circumstances, she has always found ways to let her soul's medicine shine through. In this lifetime, she's being called to remember her full potential and step into her role as a healer, as a teacher, and a guide for young people. And the lessons from these past lives are now integrating, and she doesn't need to force anything. Simply knowing this information is enough for the healing and the transformation to start unfolding naturally. I have many of these Akashic stories available on my Substack, on my YouTube, so go check them out. I have many more. And what is it that's really asking to be seen, but that you maybe can't pinpoint? You don't know where the origin really lies. If you want to learn more, reach out to me. If you want to see how I can help you with your Akashic records, reach out to me. And definitely check out the other stories. And I will be back soon with more stories. Bye bye.